Yeah. Oh, what's that, Val?
Oops, sorry. That's my fault. I clicked on something because I didn't trust myself. I should have just trusted myself.
For the first time in the history of the show, a technical glitch caused by Val Agnew. Wow.
I guess we should just call it a day, Trent. This is it. He had a good
If
run.
if you're listening on a podcast in the future, nothing bad happened. If you're watching on Twitch, also nothing bad happened. It was just an information bar popped up. Val got rid of it, easy peasy. But we're in it now. Nothing like a little wonky start here to get the show rolling. This is I Love Improv with Trent Dozier. I am the titular Trent Dozier, the one who loves improv, baby. And thank you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching live here on Trident or on twitch.tv/the Trident Network, if that's how you're choosing to intake this. Or thank you for listening in the future on a podcast, or maybe you're watching the video version of this on YouTube. Who knows? But however you found us, thank you for watching us. We have a great show lined up for you today with a great guest, one of my favorite comedians, let alone improvisers, maybe people, dare I say. But we'll get to our guest. But first, you already heard her. She already messed up the show in an irreversible way. If you're watching live on Twitch right now, please say what's up in the chat to the queen of the screen, Val Agnew. What's up, Val?
What's up, Trent? Please forgive me for my error.
Oh my God. Well, Val, if you'll recall, there's been a show or two where my internet has just simply fallen off. So you're fine. You're totally fine. You're not doing a bad job at all. In fact, I would say you're doing a great job.
Oh, shucks. Thanks, Trent.
How's it going other than a little technical snafu here at the top?
It's going great. I'm just, enjoying life, enjoying the last few weeks of summer, enjoying an upcoming trip that I may or may not be making to La La Land.
Wow, you gonna see any friends while you're out here?
Oh, I don't know, maybe one or two, maybe someone who everyone can see right now.
Yes, I will be seeing Val live in person in September, both in LA, and then I will be making the return trip to Chicago, and I will see Val there. Wow, we're going to be seeing a lot of each other. We'll talk more about this at the end, but September, we will be taking the month off. So everybody really soak in this juicy episode because it's going to be a long 4 weeks until our return. But we'll talk more about that at the end. Of course, as I mentioned, this is I Love Improv with Trent Dozier, which is a part of the Trident Network. Trident Network is a three-pronged provider of entertainment via podcasts like this show, or live streams like this show, or pre-recorded content, which, as I've mentioned before, this show technically does fall under that banner. So I Love Improv with Trent Dozier is the perfect show for Trident Network. If you want more information on the Trident Network, please go to thetridentnetwork.com. You can get more information on all the podcasts, live shows, everything like that. Also, this is not the only show that streams on the Trident Network Twitch channel. If you hit the purple subscribe button somewhere down here below me, you can subscribe to the Trident Network Twitch channel, and that will notify you anytime the Trident Network is going live with anything on Twitch across all of our great streaming shows. And we've got, like I mentioned, a bunch of great podcasts. And Val, next week, or if you're listening to this on a podcast this week, we have two new great shows debuting this next Thursday, or this Thursday if you're on a podcast. Gone But Not Forgotten, an exciting concept for a podcast. It's about celebrities that passed away too soon, too young. And then also next Friday, or this Friday if you're on a podcast, Stool Pigeons will premiere finally. That's the tabletop board game podcast that we've been talking about for a couple weeks now. Val, any other thoughts on either of those shows, or anything else Trident you would like to talk about before we get into it?
No, just that Stool Pigeons is coming to us from the lovely group Stir Friday Nights, or a subset of the members of Stir Friday Night, which I think is very cool. And it's
Yes.
all improv because it's role playing game, and so it should be a pretty good fit for the old Trident.
Yeah, it should be fun. And Stir Friday Night, a staple of the Chicago comedy scene. So that'll be a great addition. Both of those podcasts will be great additions
Mm-hmm.
um, once they start. And speaking of starting, should we get going on the improv for this week, Val? What do you think?
Yeah, Trent, I think we should.
Oh man, okay. As I've mentioned, I'm very excited for this week's guest. I think they are truly one of the funniest people on the planet. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think both intentionally and unintentionally, this is one of the funniest people ever. Whether she wants to be funny or not, she can't turn it off. If you're live in the chat right now, please say what's up to this week's guest, Cigi Farmer. Yeah. Hey, Cigi.
Hello.
How
Wow,
we
you
doing?
almost had me crying already.
Oh, we'll get to it. I'll get you crying. How's it going? How's LA treating you?
It's summer all the time. How could
Yes,
things be bad?
exactly. This is my point. This is my pitch. Everybody come on down to California. It's a great
I
time.
think everyone should live here.
Wow.
Unless you're mean or bad, then you should live somewhere else.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly with CG. All good folk come to Chicago. I mean, well, you
Oh,
could go to Chicago too. Come to California. I got
You could
Chicago on the brain.
you could stop in Chicago on the way.
Yeah. Yeah. No matter where you're coming from, make a stop in Chicago and then come to California.
Spend the night there.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Go see a show at Logan Square Improv would be my suggestion.
Yeah, visit Val. I think she'll let you stay the night with her.
yeah, we have a guest room.
She's got space. Just tell her that CG sent you, and Val will let you
Mm-hmm.
stay in her guest room.
Mm-hmm.
CG, I'm honored you're here. Um, are you ready? Are you ready for this?
I I have never been more ready for
Oh
something.
yes, yes, yes. Okay, well, let's not dilly dally any longer. Let's get into it. Um, First, of course, if you are here with us live on Twitch, we, CG and I, are about to do an improv scene. And we would love to get a suggestion from someone in the chat. Now, before you go throwing out suggestions, if this is your first time joining us, thank you for joining us. Here is what we are looking for suggestion wise. Instead of something simple like like cookout, we want something more robust, something we can sink our teeth into, something with details, something like CG and Trent are at a cookout and they are twins and they're arguing over the affection of their mother and also who should be on the grill, something like that, something with meat on the bone so we can just jump right into it. Now, also, if you've never seen CG or myself improvise, maybe you don't know what kind of scene you would like to see us do. And hopefully, I can remedy that right now because I'm about to tell CG and everybody listening and or watching what I love about CG as an improviser. And then maybe that will help inform the type of scene you want to see. So CG, are you ready to
I
sit
thought the
there?
compliments were over.
No, no, no.
Oh,
You have to sit there uncomfortably and take praise from your friend. I hope that's okay.
fine.
Okay, here we go. CG. I can't remember now if I said this on air or in our pre-discussion with Yumi and Val, but you are at a base level just naturally funny. I feel like your comedic instincts are so strong, and I think whether you're trying to be funny or not, you're just this ray of positivity and light and laughter, and it's just like it's so fun to be around you, and it's even more fun to like watch you on stage. As we were saying, CG has been doing more stand up recently than improv, but her stand up is also a freaking blast, and it has me freaking rolling all the time. But that's neither here nor there. We're not here to talk about stand up. We're here to talk about CG as an improviser. And CG, I feel like on stage, whether you're doing stand up, whether you're doing sketch, whether you're doing improv, you're just like, I feel like you're like a magnet everybody's eyeballs and attention in like the best way possible, because I feel like you're just like I said, this positive ball of comedy. And like sometimes, I feel like people overthink stuff and like try and be like, what's the funniest way I can do this and blah blah blah. And you just like, I feel like you commit to your instincts, and your instincts are 99 times out of 100 correct in terms of like, yeah, that was the funniest move. Nobody could have done anything funnier. You're also just on stage and off someone who is silly and likes to have fun and like goof around, and like you just want positive vibes. And I feel like you and I get along so well because that's very much what I am all about too, is just like, hell yeah, brother, everything's chill and we're having a blast. And like, yeah, just watching you improvise is such a joy, because I feel like you can be grounded, you can be goofy, you can be like doing these wild characters, but there's always like this hint of CG in it. And it's just like, man, it's I'm almost now that I'm here, I'm like having trouble putting it into words. But I think once you see CG, like if you see a TikTok that CG's done, or an improv show she's in, or stand up, it's like there's always this zhuzh of CG. Like you're like, yeah, that's CG right there. And yeah, I don't know. Now I'm rambling, which is what I always do towards the end. But like, I'm so excited to get to play with you. I feel like our playtime in Chicago was very limited, so I'm really gonna soak up this time that we have together today. How was all that too nice to you? Not nice enough? Did you need more, or how are we
Oh
feeling?
my gosh, I think I'm full. I'm full. It was too nice.
Okay, well,
And when
great.
you don't have a thought in your head, you can act from instinct, you know?
Yep. That's and CG, that's a great way to put it. And I feel like you do a great job of like you're a reactionary player, which I am too. Like I'll let my scene partner say something to me, and instead of being like, what's the funniest way I can respond, I'll just naturally respond, which I think you do too. And then we're like, well, we'll deal with the consequences later. All right. Val, how are we looking? Also, feel free to throw out your suggestions now, everybody in the chat. There's like a 20 or so second delay between what you're hearing live on Twitch and when I'm saying it. So if I need to vamp for a second, I can. Otherwise, Val, how are we looking?
Well, we have a suggestion for the improv, and then we also have a suggestion for what to do after the show. So I'll give the suggestion for what to do after the show first. Nia
great.
D'Amelio would like to maybe have everyone in LA go to Raising Cane's after this.
Oh my
yes.
god. Okay, quick story. They put a Raising Cane's in Burbank near mine and Nia's house, and it said it was coming in like January, and the opening date kept getting pushed back, and it finally opened this summer. And the drive-through line at the Raising Cane's in Burbank, CG's nodding, she's seen it. It is at a minimum 3 blocks long every single time. It's literally on the street. It's like they're not prepared for the amount of business this Raising Cane's is doing. It's
They
nuts.
send people away.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They say circle the block. If you get food, you get food. You're not a problem.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So yeah, we're fans of Raising Cane's. Great suggestion from former guest of the show and writer of the theme song of the show, and also my live-in partner Nia D'Amelio. Okay, Val, do we have a suggestion to go along with our Raising Cane's?
We do. Having fun and good times has given us our suggestion today.
Hell yeah.
Cigi is a small town girl from Los Angeles and has
All right.
and has just moved to the big city of Chicago. Trent is a fast-talking talent agent who is going to make her dreams come true.
I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe having fun and good times is former guest of the show, Matt Rorty. So
I think you're right.
Thank you, Matt. All right, well, that sounds good to me. CG, that sound good to you?
That sounds perfect.
All right.
Okay, Val.
Have fun.
Thank you. Okay, Miss Constantine, why don't you have a seat here? I saw you on TikTok. That was the main thing I saw you on, and I actually think I could get you some pretty big deals here on the local Dick Wolf shows. Does that sound interesting to you?
Okay, is this chair good? Is
Is
this
this-
chair right here good to sit in?
yes, please. You can sit.
Is
You can
this
sit
one
in any.
okay?
Yes, please sit in
Okay,
any of the chairs.
forgive me. I'm from a small town. You probably haven't even heard of it, and I don't want to make this about me. I want this meeting to be about you. But we don't have any chairs where I'm from.
You don't. Oh my
So
goodness.
I get very overwhelmed. I had to ride on an airplane when I got here, and they said, "Ma'am, just sit down at Southwest. You can
Yeah.
sit in any chair." And I tested out 5 to 11 of them until they were like, "Ma'am, is there a problem?" And I said, "No, they all feel good."
Wow. Okay. So it sounds like you're getting used to the chairs. It seems like you're adapting to the big
Well,
Chicago city ways very quickly.
well, this is before we even took off from my hometown.
Oh
And
my
you know
God.
what I picked? I picked a middle seat in the middle row in the middle of the plane so I could be around the most people so I could be ready to be in Chicago.
Wow. Oh my gosh. You're even smarter in person than you are on TikTok. That's crazy. I got to be honest, I wasn't expecting that. Most of my TikTok based clientele are idiots, dare I say.
No,
And yeah, but most of my TikTok based clientele is based in big cities. They don't come from a small town like you. Where did you say the small town was?
well, first of all, I want to say that my therapist told me to make sure I keep in my heart that I contain multitudes. So I'm
Hmm.
not just a TikTok star who peed their pants in a couple of stores. I'm actually more than that. I contain multitudes. Okay. Now what was your next question? Oh, where
My
I'm from.
yeah, where are you from?
Well, it's not gonna matter because I know you've never heard of it.
Well, give me the state. Maybe I've heard of the state.
Okay, have you heard of California?
California? Oh man, I'm more of a Midwest boy. I stop once you hit Arizona. I don't need to know anything past that.
Okay, California it's right on the edge, and I'm always afraid there's going to be a little earthquake that kind of just knocks it off into the ocean. And for those
Mm.
reasons, I'd say don't even research California. But I do live in a tiny town right up against the water. It's so small. Have The town is Los Angeles, City of
What?
Angels.
The City of Angels. Wow, that's beautiful. That sounds. I mean, it sounds beautiful, but I've never been there, so I couldn't tell you. But
Okay, well, I'd
um,
have to recommend come.
are there cool things to do? I mean, we've got a bunch of Dick Wolf shows here.
No, there's not much to do here, actually. I've
Well, good.
changed my mind.
It's well,
Don't
good.
worry about it.
I'm glad you've moved to Chicago. Then it's a better place, a better jumping off point for your career to go from someone who pees their pants in multiple stores on TikTok to potentially a dead body on a Dick Wolf show.
Yeah, well, because it's hard because we only have one store in Los Angeles, so I was having to do a lot of traveling to kind of even get into the stores to pee in them.
Oh,
You know
that's
what I
very
mean?
interesting. Yeah, no, I understand. That's crazy. Okay, so you're a hustler too. That's something I didn't
Yeah.
get from your TikToks either. You're a
Now,
bit of a hustler. You're smarter than I thought. This is crazy. Yes, please.
now I hate to ask a question like this in the middle of our meeting, um, but I've forgotten your name.
Oh, I'm PJ Kleinsworth. That's right.
Oh,
That
PJ.
that wasn't a stutter either. PJ is my first name and my middle name. I am PJ Kleinsworth.
PJ. I've never heard anything like it. That's gorgeous.
Thank you. Yeah, it is a rare name. I was named after both of my grandfathers who were both individually had PJ
Don't say it.
initials.
Oh my God. And you're just PJ.
I'm just PJ.
PJ.
Yeah.
Oh, now that we got that out of the way.
Well, it's no name like Blueberry Constantine. That's a great name.
Okay.
That's why you're blowing up, name alone.
Okay. I asked my mama, I said, "Mama, how did you get that name?" And she said, "Well, I did opt in for the shot that they give you a big shot called an epidural before you have a baby.
Oh,
And
okay,
my
yeah.
mom said, "This baby's 14 pounds already, which could break a woman." And she asked for two because she said, "If I live through this, I don't want to remember it." And so, and I didn't want to hear all those details, PJ,
Yeah.
PJ. I wanted like the highlight reel of my birth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that could be
And
intense to hear about it.
and what had happened is they asked her, they were like, "Ma'am, your sugar's dropping. You gotta eat. What about a muffin? What kind of muffin do you want?" And she said, "Strawberry, blueberry." And they said, "Do you want strawberry or blueberry? Because we don't actually make them mixed up."
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, PJ. Well, that's my birth story, so I guess I had heard of it. But she, my mama, she had lots of epidurals, so she said strawberry muffin, blueberry baby, and they said, "Ma'am, this is your kid, and ultimately we do support how you want to raise this kid, but are you planning on eating the baby? We just want to know in advance."
Oh my God.
And it no, nope, just
Oh,
one. I'm gonna eat the muffin, and that's blueberry Constantine.
wow. That was I don't want to tell you. Obviously, you're doing something right because you're here in a talent meeting with me, but I think you got to put that story on TikTok.
It's a little personal, PJ.
I know, but people want to know about the personal lives of the celebrities they love. And Blueberry Constantine, that's a name on the rise. People are going to want to know the personal details of your life, no matter how comfortable or uncomfortable you might be sharing them.
PJ, I've never told anybody I was a 14-pound baby. Actually, actually, by the time I'd come out, I was 15, and that surprised my mama.
You were 15 pounds or 15 years
15
old?
pounds,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
pounds,
okay.
PJ. Now, how could a baby be 15 years old?
No, you're right. That's a teenager at that point. That's good. That's a good point. Well, I know if this is gonna put you in an uncomfortable position, I'm sorry, but your fans, the more fans you accrue over time, they are gonna start demanding more and more insight into your personal life.
Okay. Well, I mean, I just don't think my life's that exciting.
You don't think your life's that exciting? You were born 15 pounds. Your mother
I'm from
threatened to
Los.
eat you.
No, my mama was never gonna eat me. See, that's what I'm worried about. Is people getting the details wrong.
Oh,
My
I
mama
gotta
ain't
tell
no
you,
cannibal. My mama's a muffin eater, but not a baby eater.
people, Blueberry, one thing you're going to have to understand about this industry is that people get the details wrong all the time. Do you think Dick Wolf wants to be known as Dick Wolf? His real name is Richard W. Dogsman, but it's easier for
No,
people to just
PJ,
call him Dick Wolf.
PJ.
I Hey, I'm the direct pipeline to the Dick Wolf shows. I know a lot about Dick Wolf, and his real name is Richard W's Dogsman.
Hey, Paige.
You
Can I tell you something?
can tell me anything.
Now, this is the truth. I have never seen a Dick Wolf show. I have never. I don't even have a TV.
Well, not for long. I'm gonna get you a TV. You know what? Okay, I whipped this up beforehand. Here's this. Why don't you take this, read this right now? Here's a pen so you can sign that when you're done. I'm gonna give you
Thank you.
that's the contract. You can read over that right now while I explain Dick Wolf to you. Dick,
Paige.
yeah,
There's one more thing I gotta tell you.
please, anything.
Now, I hate to say this because you're gonna say, "Then what have you been doing for the past 22 years?" My mama never taught me to read.
Blueberry Constantine, what have you been doing for the last 22 years?
I said you were gonna say that, didn't
Oh
I?
my God, you did. You called it. You called it. How? Why? I don't understand how you can put out TikToks if you can't read. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, you don't have to be able to read to talk into a little screen.
I guess that is a very good point. But how do
I
you
just
make your
guess on
captions?
the captions. I
You
guess.
guess? That's you guessing?
Well, it auto does it.
Oh, I was going to say that's incredibly impressive because I've never read a caption on one of your TikToks that was any less than 4 paragraphs. So it's impressive that you're getting those words right, at least in a order that I wouldn't be questioning them.
Well,
Okay,
I'm
well
not
I'll
just looks.
I'll
I'm
read the
not just a pretty face.
No, I know. And that's what I'm trying to convey. You are smart, you're intelligent, you're powerful, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you're funny. You're all these things.
What else, Paige?
Your sense of style is impeccable. Your taste
Can I
is
tell you something?
yeah,
This whole
anything.
thing is this is one suit. The pants and the top is connected to each other.
What? I could have
Yeah.
sworn you're telling me these aren't multiple pieces. This is all one piece.
No. No. And it's difficult but also great for when you're picking out an outfit.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now that the contract I handed you says that I am going to pay you $50 a day just for being my client. I would, based on this suit alone, I'd like to up that. I'd like to triple that. We're going with $200 a day just for exclusively being my client. I think is that math right? Tripling 50 to 200, right? 5 or quadruple.
PJ, now one thing I'm good
Oh
at
no,
is
it'd be
math, and
quadruple.
that's quadrupling.
That's
I'm
quadrupling.
excellent at math.
Yeah.
You can ask me
I'm
to
bad at
add
math.
just about anything, and I can add.
Well, here's the thing: is I'm actually bad at math. I don't know that I'm budgeted to pay you $250 a day, let alone 200. But you know what? I just honestly, I see a spark in you. I don't even think you should be a dead body on some Chicago PD show. I think you should be. I think you should be Olivia Benson's daughter on SVU. And I know that probably doesn't mean anything to you because you've never seen a Dick Wolf show, but are you familiar with the name Mariska Hargitay?
Okay, I'm sorry, but my man's going back, back, back. You said playing a dead body?
That was
Playing a dead body on TV, PJ?
yeah, that's certainly an opportunity. I
No,
could
that's my dream role because you don't have to learn no lines.
yeah, I guess that's true. There's no reading involved in being a dead body. Yeah, that's right.
Now,
Okay, well,
do you want to kind of see what I can do as a dead body?
wait, if we're here, I might as well. Yeah,
Can you see me?
I can
Am
see
I
you.
too far back?
No, you're not too far back. I can see you. I can see you.
Now I can also give one of these. I can do. You know how sometimes when you die, your eyes. I can.
Yeah, they bulge out. Yeah, okay, that's
All
good.
right. I contain multitudes.
Wow. Blueberry, I gotta be honest. I I've lost a lot of clients recently, and I was desperate.
Oh,
I was desperate.
Paige.
I was desperate to sign you initially, just to kind of keep filling out my roster. But
No,
now that
you
I've
don't seem desperate.
thank you,
You're
thank
not
you.
acting desperate.
I used to be an actor myself, so I'm just kind of tapping into my old habits. But
I thought it was normal to call somebody 400 to 600 times a day. That to me, that's not desperate. That's I won't. I know what I want.
and I have to say, to quote the dearly departed Olivia Newton-John, you're the one that
It's
I
too
want.
soon.
You're the one that I want, and I want you right
Ugh.
now as my client.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna negotiate a little bit, okay? Now instead of
Damn it.
$200 a
Okay.
day,
Okay.
I want you to pay me $20 a day. Let's knock off one of them zeros.
Okay.
I want $20 a day, and then just muffins, unlimited amount of muffins. I only eat like one or two muffins a day, so like just muffins. 20
Okay.
bucks a day in muffins.
Okay, let me do some quick math. 2,200 minus 200 minus 20. Okay, so that's
That's
gonna
180.
that's gonna save me $180 a day.
You should have just asked me, PJ. I'm good at math.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so if let's see, let's look up how much muffins are. You talking big muffins, mini muffins, individually wrapped?
No, no. I have you ever heard of Duncan Hines?
Oh yeah, yes. That's Duncan Hines is a man who makes muffins.
Yes. He's the Muffin Man.
Oh,
Now
the
he
Muffin Man.
Duncan Hines, the Muffin Man. Now he charges 99 cents
Uh huh.
for two muffins or $1.50 for one, but I only want one a day.
Oh, but if we, so you're saying if we buy, what are you saying? If we buy you just want the one. So, well, I'm saving $180, so I can buy you the more expensive single muffin.
Okay.
Yeah, that's no problem. So if that's $1.50 plus the $20 I'm giving you, that's $21.50. So what's 21? What's 200 minus 21.50?
200 minus 21.50 would be like 178.50, I think.
Based on my calculator, that would be 178.50 exactly. You are right. You're good at math.
I'm good at math, PJ.
Okay, well, if I'm saving $178.50 a day by dropping your price point and buying you one muffin a day, I'll gladly do that. If you want to sign the contract, we can do that, and I'll just make the edits.
Well, I do have a couple of things I'd like to address.
Okay.
Well, I don't have a home in Chicago. I just got off the airplane. And I did bring my mama because I've never spent a day without her.
Your mom's
Um,
here?
my mama is here. And then we never leave the house without our dogs. So my two dogs are here.
How big are the
And
dogs?
the dogs are, well, one's like yay, and one's like same, but like wider because she likes to eat. So like one's like yay, but yay, and one's like
Uh-huh.
yay, but yay. And
Uh-huh.
we treat them the same though. We don't look at that. We don't
Yeah.
look. We say you contain multitude.
Yes. Oh, that's great. That's great. Okay, well, that should be no problem. We were gonna set you up in one of those what's the one of those hype houses here in Chicago, but if your mom and dogs are with you, maybe I could find you guys a place for your own so you're not living with 60 other content creators.
Well, we want to actually live with you, PJ.
With me?
Yeah, well, don't make it weird.
I'm
It's
just
not like
I'm
that.
no,
My
no, I
mom
didn't.
is married.
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it to be. I didn't mean that to be sexual in nature. If that's how it came off, I'm
Well,
just.
it did big time. When you say with me, I said, what are you implying?
I was not
And
implying anything onto you or your mother or your dogs. I was just more. No one has ever really wanted to be around me outside of a professional capacity before. So I was honestly just taken aback. I was shocked by your kindness. And
PJ,
if I'm being honest, I do think there was some sexual nature in it, and I didn't mean for that to be, but I feel like we're connecting on a very strong level here.
okay, well, I want to tell you, I'm not going to cancel you. When you said with me, I said you you put your toe over the line, and
Mm-hmm.
then we rewound it,
Bring it back in. Yep.
and you said I'm going to be honest about the nature of when I say with me, and then because of that, I think we can just move forward.
Okay. Okay. Great.
Now I gotta do tell you something
Oh. Okay.
else. Well, my mama, she does raise 11 of my cousins.
All the cousins here too?
Now the cousins are outside.
Oh my god. Okay, let's send in the here, hang on. Tony, why don't you go ahead and send in the cousins and Blueberry's mama?
Why don't we just get a representative? Why don't we just get a representative from
Okay.
them?
Tony, ixnay on the cousins. Let's just send in Blueberry's mama. Okay, your mom. Oh, wow.
Well,
Hi, Mama.
hello.
Oh my
How
god.
are you, my darling?
You are
It's
the
going
spitting image of
good.
each other.
I know.
Some people say we're twins.
Twins? I could see that.
Oh, you're a flirt. You didn't tell me he was a flirt.
Not trying.
Yeah, I gave you one. I gave you one chance.
Okay, I'll reel it in. I'll reel it in.
I'll give you
reel it
more
Go
than
back
one
over the line.
chance.
in. And what's your name, young lady?
Rhubarb.
Rhubarb Constantine. This is forward of me, but Rhubarb Constantine, would you divorce your husband and do me the honor of being my wife? I would love to be your daughter's manager
No,
and
PJ,
stepfather.
I don't want a new daddy.
Okay, I
I
retract.
want old daddy. I want old daddy.
Don't
You
worry.
want?
Don't worry, honey. You can have old daddy and new daddy.
Oh,
I don't want a new daddy.
Well,
well, you're gonna get a new daddy. Okay, that's the scene.
Hey,
oh, I hope I read that room right, because it felt like you were asking for me.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
Well, a little behind the scenes for everybody watching or listening. We in our pre-show discussions with every guest each week, I always say, like, it's typically just a 2-person scene, but if you want to bring Val in, like, Val's there. We can use her. And no one other than Emily Walters has ever used Val before. And I had a feeling Cigi might dip into the Val well, and I think it was.
You opened the door and I said, "Come on in, Val."
That was the first time I've ever come on screen, ever.
Yeah. The Emily
That's an
one was a
honor.
lot
I was
shorter. Yeah, I feel like in the Emily one, I remember we were at a bar and you were our bartender. I don't even know if you fired off like even a line in that.
I said one line, and that was the button. Like, that was
Yeah.
when you called the scene. So yeah, this was the first time where I was very honored. Thank you, Cigi, for calling me
Oh,
on.
I feel honored that you popped in.
CG Farmer out here just blazing trails for
Just
the
blazing
improv world.
Improv's different now.
Yeah. Well, Cigi and I have improvised together before, so
That's true.
Yeah.
it was a
We were in
natural.
conservatory together.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
almost like a conservatory reunion, because Trent was in another class in the same
Yeah,
year or
all
whatever.
three of us, we were in the same cohort, I believe is the
Yeah.
Mhm.
proper lingo, but
Mhm.
you're not. I mean, CG, Val, Cam was also in your class. Like, you guys had, I mean, I thought our cohort in general was pretty stacked, but the majority of that stackedness was in your class, and then there was like a couple people in the other two classes, but like your class was like just juiced to the gills with people who I find endlessly funny, including our guest this week, CG Farmer.
Mhm.
Oh. I've been wanting to dance since you danced. Is this fun?
I love that.
How you haven't done a ton of improv since the pandemic? How did that feel for you, CG?
That was so much fun. Yeah, it was a blast. I feel like I've watched you do quite a bit of improv since the pandemic, and I feel like I was playing kind of what you normally play. So I had a little bit of guilt, but it was fun.
No, I do know what you mean. I feel like CG is, of course, referring to me and Cam doing live shows. Former guest of the podcast, Cam Hurt, and CG's roommate, Cam Hurt.
Enough about him.
Yes, enough about Cam.
Enough. I see him every day.
I feel like it's not necessarily always, but I do feel like more often than not people will call me more of the wild card on our team, and Cam gets more of the straight man role. And Cigi was definitely the wild card of the two of us in this scene, and I was playing it more uh straight, I guess, in terms of that sense. But I don't think, I mean, yeah, I don't think you should feel guilty about it. I think you, like I said, I think you're like a flexible player. So I think you're capable of being the straight person or being the goofball, or, anything in between. So like, I don't think you should feel guilty that I didn't get to goof around, because I did goof around. I had a lot of fun.
PJ. Also trying to get me to take that pin from you. I did not know where my camera was.
Oh,
And then there's the delay, so I'm like, where's my
yeah.
hand?
Did you do any online improv during the pandemic, really?
I did want my a friend had a like game show type thing,
Uh-huh.
and I did that once, and I think I was so sad. That was like, I uh-oh. Cam's calling. Oh no, Cam, stop it. I said no more, and he calls me. Um,
Oh my god.
I think I found, and for people who kept doing Zoom improv, great, like great for you. I think I found it very sad and was like, I need to shift my
Yeah.
focus
Well,
personally, because improv for me is so much about the energy in the room, you know?
yes, I totally agree. Was you doing that more towards the beginning of the pandemic?
It was like, oh, like week
Yeah.
2, and then I was like, yeah. So then we shifted to writing a web series and
Oh yeah,
trying to
you
make
and Steven.
TikToks,
Yeah.
and yeah. And that was a fun thing to do, because I realized we were always doing so many shows that I had these goals of like making things that lived on video and
Yeah.
lived on, um but we were so wrapped up in improv, which how can you not be? It's addicting and so much fun. Um, I will say one positive about the pandemic was getting to make videos.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, especially like, I don't blame you for those. I mean, I didn't start doing online improv with any veracity until like, a year ago, really, when we started this. Maybe a little before that, but those early days of internet online improv pandemic era was just like, nobody knew what they were doing. We were all trying to figure it out. And like, I think the people that stuck with it, like Comedy Sports, for example, and Val, like, you guys now have a system and it works better. And like this show, we've kind of worked out the kinks. But people who just did it right away and were like, oh yeah, this doesn't have anything that I really enjoyed about doing improv in person. It really is kind of a whole different art form. Like, the base is the same, but like everything else about it is different.
Yeah. And it's also like this, the way we talk about the scene, like it's going to be a mono scene, like there's
Mm-hmm.
room to be playful and have fun. But I
Mm-hmm.
think this was very comfortable, A, because I trust you entirely.
Yeah.
And B, it was like, okay, like, should I run out and get a fake prop? Like, or
Yeah.
how do you
Yeah.
edit with more than one person? And then
Yeah.
like, let's not talk over each other. Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, that's a good point too about the delays and stuff. Not even visual, not just visually, but also audibly. Like, there can be delays between what you're trying to say or do and what I'm trying to say or do. But I think we were both, cognizant of it, so I think we managed it pretty
No,
well.
this redeemed online prov. This was very fun.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Another thing you said that sparked an idea in my brain was, you're right. When we were all in Chicago at the at the peak of Chicago comedy, it felt like, and pre-pandemic, like, all of us were doing live shows. And the beauty of Chicago was that anybody could do a show pretty much like 7 days a week. If you wanted to, you could go out and take that. And so like, we were all being creatively fulfilled that way, so none of us needed really to write stuff or film stuff or do anything like that. And it's been wild these last couple of years to see it blow up, that style of comedy, especially since like, you see, this is so like pretentious of me to say, but I do feel like the people who were in Chicago when I was in Chicago, and probably a little before me too, like those are the funniest people on the planet. And for these people to be like finding fan bases, essentially outside of Chicago, like you, CG, your TikTok stuff is like great, and you're slowly blowing up too, it feels like. And it's cool to see.
Very slowly.
But it's cool to see my friends and people that I know and like have seen grind. CG is someone who I've seen grind away in Chicago, like be rewarded for their one, hard work, and two, like natural funny abilities. And like it's been so like that was honestly a good thing that happened in the pandemic.
I think it gave perspective, and now I'm back to
Yeah.
like, I miss improv, but I could never go back to the mindset of like, oh my God, I only had 46 shows this week. Do you think I'm booked enough? Like,
Yeah.
truly, we were like, it would be like, I'm doing 18 shows this week and I'm not
Yeah.
busy enough, or like, I'm doing 25 shows. Like, that's exaggeration, but like,
Not by much.
it
Yeah.
truly. And like, now I think I'm like, oh, there is like a balance of like, improv is the most like fun and raw, like just
Mm,
like positive way to create. And like,
yeah.
even if like, Second City teaches like, let's improvise to make sketches and then let's work the sketch, things like that. But like,
Yeah.
even if you're not like writing based on what you improvised, I feel like now I want, like, we just improvised. That was very fun and felt like good for my soul. And I'm like, okay, I want to go like write something now, even if that has nothing to do with this scene.
Yeah.
So I do think that like it is so important. I would say, we all thought like big careers were coming from it. So I think there is
Uh-huh.
a happy medium of like doing other things as well. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's like I don't regret a minute of improvising.
Yeah, and I don't personally, I don't think you should.
No.
Or the
And
millions of dollars I spent
Ugh.
to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's honestly the biggest fault is the money we all spent. Sorry, Val, I cut you
Oh
off. Go
no,
ahead.
I was gonna agree wholeheartedly with everything you just said, CG. I mean, my husband Michael, who you obviously both know, is also an improviser,
Yep.
and we were talking the other day because like now we like make dinner and sit down and eat together like pretty much every night of the week, and like we have a lot of like quality time together. But like up until the pandemic, like we were lucky if we saw each other one night out of seven.
Yeah.
Like between
Yeah.
the two of us, because we were rehearsing, doing shows, like running
Yep.
around, like we were just never home. And like both of us, like, so yes, creatively I agree completely. Like it got me off of that like treadmill and like actually like looking around and kind of prioritizing what I wanted to actually spend my time on. But also like personally it was really like meaningful, like to just take a breath and actually like we looked at each other, we were like, we really like this, we really like that we actually have time to spend together now,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, it was
It
definitely, it's
it did
addicting.
feel, yeah, it's certainly addicting. I think that's why we were all so gung ho. All of us, like everyone in Chicago, was so gung ho about being able to perform, pretty much every night. I do feel like our kind of generation of Chicago performer was the pandemic was approaching, but we didn't even really know it yet, and it felt like we were all like our generation of Chicago performer was kind of like taking a step back and being like, wow, I guess I could go down from two shows a night to one show a night. And like maybe instead of seven shows in a week, I could do four or five and still be it felt like we were so slowly taking the proper steps and like weaning ourselves off of like needing to perform every night, and like we were finding ways to be filled in other ways. And then the pandemic happened, and then everyone was just kind of like, oh yeah, okay, so this is just going to do it for us. This is like cutting it off hard for us.
Mm-hmm.
But it did to me feel like we were all kind of moving in that direction. And now it's like nice to get to perform live, and I would definitely like to do it more than I'm doing now. But I do think I don't need to be doing it at the volume that I was doing it in Chicago.
Yeah. It's to me, it's kind of like what you were saying before, CG, where it's like it's a means to like warm up your like creative muscles. It's also like very like meditative, you know, like you
Yeah.
have to be very in the moment and very present.
Yeah.
And it's great for those things, but it's not like a it's not the thing that's going to get you where you want to go. And I think that's what we were kind of like I hesitate to say tricked because like we were cognizant of what was going on, but like
Yeah.
we were all deluding ourselves into thinking like, oh, this is the thing, like this is how we make it. No, this is how we like work on stuff and get better in general.
And it's how you stand out.
Yeah.
I think because I was surrounded by, I mean, everybody was incredible. Everybody is naturally funny, incredibly
Yep.
funny. I
Yep.
mean, I could sit here now and name 100 people, both of you included, of like, yeah, I would have absolutely said every single person will make it whatever making it looks like. Whatever
Yeah.
they want out of that, they will. Um, yeah, I think I might have lost where I was going with that, but basically, like the magic of like also like taking care of each other and like
Yes.
being in that moment. And I think for me, as soon as improv became, am I doing enough? Am I keeping up with everybody around me?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of like, am I having a blast and like being creative and being supportive and being supported? And I think there's a happy medium to that of like, if you can stay in that mindset in which improv was literally invented to be, then do 100 shows a week if it makes you happy. But I think if you're like running that race,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that the spirit of improv is meant to really be like appreciated, and it
Yeah.
is sacred.
Mm-hmm.
I fully agree. I think that was very beautifully said, CG. We're pushing up against the top of the hour here, so we'll start to wrap it up. If you would like to see CG live, and I think you should because she's a freaking delight. She runs a show called Low Places. It's like a stand up kind of storytelling. It's really fun. It's like the one we went to was incredible. You guys have only done two. We have the third one coming up
Yeah.
on September 10th. Val, I sent you in the Slack the link to the Low Places Instagram.
I just put it
So
in the
Val's
chat.
going to throw
Oh
that in the chat
wow.
now. Thank you, Val. But if you're listening on a podcast, follow them at Low Places Comedy Show. The ticket link to their next show is there in the Instagram. It's a great show. Also follow CG, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at CG_farmer. She's great. Like I said, her TikToks are great. I mean, everything CG does is funny. I've said it plenty of times. I think CG's funny. Okay, that's what I think. Um, Also, if you want to see CG in a show that she's not hosting, Cam, previously discussed, and I are back live again, also, which is either next Wednesday if you're watching this live, or if you're catching this in the podcast, it is tonight. It is this Wednesday. It is August 31st at 9 p.m. at the Yard Theater in Los Angeles, California.
And it's
Tickets
a
are
whole
$10.
Chicago lineup,
It
right?
is. This is a pure. I think typically we've had 1 to 2 LA performers on our lineup. This one is pure Chicago. We have CG doing stand up. We have Nick Merling doing stand up. We have Jake Bradley and Sarah Mitchell doing improv together. Damon Royster is going to do some characters. And then Jordan Lee Cohen is joining Cam and I for our set. So it's pure Chicago. It's going to be great. We'll have a fun little announcement at that show also about the future of that live show. And it's all positive, so that's cool. And that is August 31st. It's next Wednesday or this Wednesday if you're listening to it on a podcast. And you can follow at Family Reunion Show on Instagram for updates on all those things coming in the future. It's great. I love improv. I love CG. I love Val. I love doing this show. We love the Trident Network. I love everyone who listened on a podcast who is watching here live, watching the video replay in the future. However, you're doing it, thank you for tuning in. CG, thank you so much for being the guest. This was so fun. You're
Thank
such a blast.
you. This is
Uh,
so fun.
Val, thank you for everything as always. I forgive you for absolutely ruining the beginning of the show.
Thank you.
it's only a testament to Cigi's greatness that we were able to dig ourselves out of the hole that you put us in immediately.
I agree.
Just kidding, of course. It wasn't even a misstep at all. Thanks everybody for listening or watching or both. See you in a live show maybe. Also, okay, that's the last thing I wanted to say. September, we're off. We're coming back in October, but October is going to be the first and third Wednesday. We'll be live on Twitch as opposed to the second and fourth. So we're back on Wednesday, October 5th. I hope you all be joining us then. If you're in Chicago when I'm in Chicago, hope to see you there. If you're in LA when I'm in LA, hope to see you there too. Everybody have a great night, great afternoon, great day, wherever it is, whenever you're listening. And remember,